Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is Gabe.
Greetings all.
What's up, Gabe?
What's up with you?
Not a whole lot. Tell us about yourself. It's your first time here on Durbania.
I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you. This has been one of my dreams to be on your show.
That's good.
I've been seeing a lot of your episodes. You bring a lot of content, a lot of, great subject matter to movies,
I try.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm glad to have you on here to talk movies.
Thank you.
And specifically today, we're going to talk about The Fate of the Furious. Yes. So this is our spoiler talk, our spoiler review, but we're also going to be asking this question. This is a very slow movie weekend this weekend. Like, not too many huge, wide releases. So, as you're looking for entertainment this weekend, probably a question on your mind, if you haven't seen The Fate of the Furious, is it worth seeing this weekend? So, Gabe, as we begin our review, let me just ask you that question. Is this worth seeing on the big screen this weekend?
It is. I think so. You know what? It's been breaking some records, supposedly, from the Fast and Furious franchise. A little bit surprised since the opening day I went to was Wednesday, but a lot of people didn't know that the movie was...
I didn't either. I went on a Thursday.
Yeah. Exactly. I got the RPX seating, assigned seating. It was a great experience. Kind of quieter theater, a little bit of clapping, everybody cheering, but very surprising opening day for me.
Oh, cool. Well, overall, I don't think it's worth seeing this weekend on the big screen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not that it's a bad movie. I just don't really think it's big screen worthy. I think you might have more fun renting this movie and watching it with a circle of close friends where you could be as loud and as rambunctious as you want as you're watching it. I don't know. What are some reasons you think this movie is worthy of a big screen view?
Here we go. Here's the debate. Here we go.
Let's debate this. Round one. Let's do it.
So Durbin, this movie, I've been hearing your reviews. Great opinion, great perspective from the moviegoer's point of view. However, this movie was focused on the car guy, the car enthusiast.
Yes.
As we see here in most of the movies. The first one hit home, believe it or not, didn't have a lot of content, didn't have everything you'd want from a movie. It was mainly focused for all the car people. Later, it became more of a bigger picture to involve the rest of the people in the world, I guess you could say, not just the car enthusiasts, and has grown since.
For me, once you hit movies 5, 6, and 7, 5 began a new standard for this franchise, which is what I call the standard of ridiculous. The movie just, they got so ridiculous with people surviving the dumbest things, like Dom shooting a car at a helicopter, then hitting the ground and rolling, and, peachy keen.
Yeah.
So there's a sense where this movie wants you to go in with just letting go. Like, there's a sense where this movie's building into you, the franchise, 5, 6, and 7 builds into you. Go into this movie and expect the ridiculous, expect the fantasy, and just let go and have fun with what we give you. And there's a degree to which I can do that, and there's a degree to which I can expect it. But I think 5 started doing it, 6 tested the limits, 7 tested the limits, and this one took the limits of all 3 and tested them, even further.
Yes.
And so, for me, this movie just continued to be a little ridiculous. Now, as much as I could accept some of the ridiculous action and the things that they survived, because it's what this movie sets up, one of the things that I had a hard time with was Dom's baby in this one.
Okay.
Because in Fast 5, right, you have Dom with that blonde chick.
Yes.
And so that's when they get together. And 6 is when you see Brian has his son. Like, at the beginning of the movie, he has an infant. Now, if Dom was with that blonde girl then, and he breaks up with her in that movie, it's around that time she found out she was pregnant, making her baby only a few months younger than Brian's baby. Then you get into the 7th movie, and when that ends, Brian's baby is like 3. Would you say that? Running around on the beach? Probably about 2, 3, a toddler.
That does look like a 2, 3-year-old right there. That's
and,
right.
Yeah, and this baby was barely 1 of Dom's baby in this movie.
That's correct.
And so as I'm watching that, to me, and I try. I really do try, and I understand it's a movie, and it's not real as much as I get that. There's like so many things this movie asks of me to believe and just let go of. And now we have this. And I get, like, with Tokyo Drift, the timeline is the Achilles heel of this franchise. But I'm just like, oh, come on. We know the baby has to be so much older. And so I just feel like this movie went one too far with things that I can believe. And so, like, it kind of stretched me just a little too far with this one. And let's not forget, you have the 7th movie where Elsa and The Rock are blown out of a freaking window and they fall 4 stories. Yeah. So there's no indication she was ever pregnant. whatsoever. We just kind of got to take this on her word, and because the writers tell us to. On top of some of the other crazy things, like all those cars driving themselves, wouldn't you need like 6,000 people on remotes?
That's true.
So
that's true.
So as cool as even that stuff looked, I just feel like stuff in the story weakened it, and so it's not worth seeing on the big screen.
You know what? Probably a simple answer to it. You know, Marvel or Star Trek got involved, and they did a time continuum and rolled back. It's going to make sense later, Durbin. It's going to make sense, right?
Right. Yeah, so, one of the Infinity Stones messed with the Time Stone messed with them, and we're going to find out they're Marvel heroes.
Would you guys be surprised if Fast and Furious, collaborated with Marvel? I wouldn't, man. At this point, they're become the same, type of team there. So yeah. I like it. Well, I liked it. I say you have to go, and even RPX if you can, because you get that action. You're hearing those noises. You're hearing the explosions. You're hearing the smashing. You want to see everything vivid. Let's be honest. You're not going to get that enjoyment from watching it on a 50, a 60, a 40. Let's be honest, right? You won't get that sensation. So you got to watch it in theaters. I do agree with you, though. I do agree with you. It can get ridiculous, but you know what you're going for again? Family, action. And just those car scenes. And again, car guys, we're going there to see what's the newest car coming out. The Dodge Demon came out, right?
Mm-hmm,
that was an incredible car, 9.6. I think a day before they were announcing that car. Amazing. It was in there for a little bit. There was a lot of things that could relate to car guys. Again, man, we're not going there for just to make sense of things. We're going there to see the fate of the Furious. We want to see what's going on with this family. And you know what? Let's be honest. They announced they're going to probably come out with 10 movies total. So I think we're looking at 2 more. So bear yourself. Get ready. You're going to go see some more movies.
Oh, yeah.
More ridiculousness, as you say. But I say it's incredible. It's the family there. Hopefully they maintain this strong until 10. And then hopefully we cut it off because I want them to be known for, good movies in my opinion. But, I do agree with you. But, of course, let's talk about the loss of our staple in this movie, which was Paul Walker.
Yeah.
We did lose Paul Walker in this one, and Mia's not in it at all.
No.
There's a couple references of him. One, the baby.
Yep, they named the baby after him.
They named baby after him.
Very good tribute to Paul Walker.
Yes, very beautiful tribute to him. I got to give it to him. And they did mention him saying, should we involve Paul in this situation? Like, no, we promised we'd leave them alone. And, they brought that in. I got to say, from my personal experience, I actually, Paul Walker lived in Santa Barbara, where my hometown is. And, he lived there for a lot of his life with his daughter living, close to the Mesa as well. The guy was an incredible guy.
So you got to meet him?
I got to meet the guy.
That's pretty cool.
Super nice guy. You'd see him around town doing his errands, doing his whatnot. There's one instance I worked at Sears at one point, and there's an old couple trying to buy mattresses,
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Walker, heard them talking amongst themselves. They were talking about buying mattresses, and they couldn't afford it, and they said, no, honey, it's too expensive. Let's look at a cheaper one. Paul Walker would just said, hey, I'd like to buy this for you guys. And, obviously they didn't accept it, but, that's the type of guy he was, and obviously I think that's what reflected on the franchise, too.
Mm-hmm. The whole idea of family.
Yeah, he brought family to the family. So we got Vin Diesel left, but another piece of the family's gone. You know what I mean?
True.
You know what I mean? So it's Vin Diesel there with the rest of the team. The family's not as strong, in my opinion, but the family's still hitting it hard.
Yeah. But the reason, I think this is more worthy of a home viewing than a big screen viewing is because, so I went with some friends. We saw it on the big screen, and there's a degree to where you can laugh out loud. There's a degree to where you can make noise, but you also kind of got to shut up and not disturb the people around you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, I think what is perfect, especially for Fate of the Furious, is if you do it at home as a rental, or if it pops up on Netflix and you do it with your friends, you are free to laugh at the ridiculous stuff. You're free to point at the screen and say, that baby should be so much older! Point out those things and laugh and kind of get it out of your system and kind of move on. And I think there's something about when you're on the couch with a bunch of your close friends watching it on TV and you're able to just kind of laugh and have fun with it that way. I feel like that kind of amplifies the fun of it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm thinking this is better as a rental than on the big screen.
That's true. That's a good point. I got to say that there's not a lot to argue in that. But however, again, going back to the car guy, every car fanatic, every car fan has to see the movie early. It just looks, let's be honest, it looks better on the big screen.
True.
You know, we're at home, we're watching it on our 60 if you're lucky you have a bigger TV. It's still, you're not getting that experience that you would get from a theater. And people want to see those details. They want to hear that sound. They want to hear those explosions. So that's the big thing so far we can take from this movie is you're going there for action. You're going there for the family. You're going there for the franchise if you were in love with it from the beginning. You know, you're going to see great, fight scenes to, great car chases and,
true.
New vehicles, submarines, tanks, torpedoes and whatnot, explosions, sounds, and all that. There's
I will say my favorite fight scene: Jason Statham with the baby on the plane, and he puts the little headphones on the baby, and the baby's all smiling and goo-gooing and gagaing and
little hand motion, up.
little hand motion.
The fake CGI where they moved his hand up, one of the two. That was incredible. Right?
Yeah, and then he just fights the bad guys. Beats the living snot out of them, shoots the one guy. Is that you? Or is that him?
That's true.
And then the baby's like, it's him.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't say that, but I don't like. That was a great fight scene.
Yeah.
Jason Statham's awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Great actor.
Well, in closing arguments, my stand has been just wait and rent this because honestly, it feels a little cartoony to me. It's a fun movie. It's not a bad experience, and especially if you've liked the others in this franchise, there's no reason you wouldn't like this one. If you like the ridiculous action, you'll love the ridiculous action in this one. You love the characters, you love the family, you'll love it in this one. It's not that I hate this movie. I just personally, for me, this is not a big screen experience movie. It's a little cartoony, it's a little too ridiculous, and sometimes I feel like it pushes the limits even beyond what me, who is super imaginative, can even let go of. And I watch movies with dudes who wear blue tights and a red cape and fly.
That's true.
But
everything there's.
But personally, I think it's funner to watch it intimately with a group of friends on the couch as a rental. What are your closing arguments?
Closing arguments. Go see it in the theaters. Don't listen to this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's action, there's love, there's family. Car guys, you're always going to agree with me anyways.
Well, we obviously don't have a third party here in the studio to declare a winner based on our arguments. So it's up to you, who is watching, in the comments. Who do you think won this little mini debate that we just had? What do you think? Is this movie worth seeing on the big screen, or is it a rental? Let us know in the comments. While you're down there leaving that comment, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button is that little bell. When you click that bell, you'll get notified the moment I drop new videos, and you can be on top of all of that. So I'm Durbin.
I'm Gabe.
Thank you so much for checking out Durbania. And Gabe, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, you're very welcome.